Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Happy Wednesday night. This is the live chat for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Clearly, I am at the golf tournament. That's not the real Michael Greller behind me. That is just a mural. But I'm in the media center. I'm going to try to play nice with everybody. So if it sounds like I'm whispering, I am. All right. So this is the live chat. We're going to take your questions, your concerns, your comments over the course of the next hour or so. I'll share my screen, show my website, and we can rock and roll that way. I see a ton of questions already in here. Get your stuff in there right now. Spent all day at the golf course. It is hot as molasses in January. I don't think that's the phrase. It is hot. It is humid. Whatever you want to know, we can talk about it. But there are a few places that I do really like to start. First and foremost, let us start with the weather, which, yeah, exactly what we expected. 94 degrees tomorrow, hot and humid, 95 on Friday, 95 on Saturday, 94 on Sunday. The only day where there might be a breath of wind, unfortunately for all of us, is going to be Friday afternoon. So this is going to be hot. The ball is going to fly a million miles an hour. There are not traditional weather waves because everybody's going off of number one with only 69 players in the field. So to me, there is really no actionable wave advantage, right? There's barely a wave, let alone a wave advantage. I just think the way it's going to play is we can get more into that in just a second. We could talk a lot about the new greens. I will get to that in just a moment. I do not have the one and done numbers because Off This Football Pool and Splash have now merged, and there is no access to those Off This Football Pool one and done numbers. So we're gonna have to figure out a new way to do that moving forward. But for now, I imagine Matt Fitzpatrick's gonna be pretty popular. I imagine if you still have Tommy Fleetwood or Hideki Matsuyama, those are gonna be pretty popular. I see a ton of your questions. Excuse me, it's been a long day. Comments and concerns out there as well. Let me get you up to date on one other item before I jump into my day here at TPC Southwind and remind you that right now, DraftKings is giving new customers a chance to play for free for their share of millions of prizes with their first deposit on the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app. It's simple to play. Build your dream lineup. Come on. While staying under the salary cap, sit back and watch as your players rack up points. Every birdie, every bogey, every clutch putt. Feel the intensity of every shot. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app today and enter promo code RickDFS to play for your share of millions. That's RickDFS for new DraftKings customers. Just download the Daily Fantasy app today. The crown is yours. All right, let's talk about what's going on out here. I'm at TPC Southwind. I'm here on the behest of GolfBet, which is the arm of the betting and fantasy arm of the PGA Tour. There is, we have done a lot of content, and we will continue to do content all week long. We have a setup on the 14th tee-ish where you can stop by and say hello, all that fun stuff, and we're going to be filming out of there. We have filmed out of there. We have been given some pretty darn good access, okay? They're letting us record in places that we would not normally be allowed to record. We're getting out there. We're getting a feel for everything that's happening. The big story are the greens. The new greens. The new greens are always going to be firm, and these are firm. Spoke with Victor Hovland very briefly on the driving range today. He said, yes, it's going to play very different. We saw shots go into 14 and other holes with very little check, very little spin. I'll give you a perfect example. That's a 200-yard hole, plays a little bit downhill. Hideki Matsuyama looked like he hit probably, 7 or 8 iron, something like that. That ball landed on the green and did not sniff checking up, did not sniff stopping. Went into the back bunker. He hit what I deemed to be a very clean bunker shot that would have normally have checked, did not check, and rolled about 7 feet past the green, and he missed the putt coming back. The approaches, which are now Zion Zoysia, are still soft. There are spots on this course, especially with the watering, that are more receptive, more soft underfoot. So if you are landing the ball in front of the greens, it is not bounding forward. And if you are landing the ball on the greens, you're having a very difficult time stopping it, which to me says this is going to be pretty hard. I think that they're and relative. These guys are very good. They're still going to make plenty of birdies. But when you look at last year's scoring, Hideki won it at 17 or 18 under par. I think it'll be a little bit more difficult than that. No wind, that's not going to be a problem. The ball's going to fly. But I think the greens are going to require you to play out of the fairways so that you can put any amount of spin on it that you can. And then if you can, that was Christopher saying goodbye. And then if you can put any spin on it, that would be great, because any spin whatsoever is going to be better than nothing. I would also kind of consider some of the higher apex guys, guys that can bring it in from instead of using spin to stop your ball, using descent angle to stop your ball. So your higher apex guys being guys, off the top of my head, Jason Day always fits this category. I'll show you the radar tool on rickrungood.com. Aldrich Pocket, Ricky Fowler, Keegan Bradley, Davis Riley, Ludwig Oberg, Sam Burns. These are high hitters of the golf ball. They're going to be able to use gravity and descent angle to stop their ball better than a lot of their peers. Outside of that, the greens are in great shape. This course has not been played on since they've done the work, so it is in phenomenal shape. It's perfect. It is mint. I think that the winning score will probably be like 15 under par. Okay. I'm going to stop rambling there, and I'm going to get to your questions. So we're going to go with David first. He says, "Hey, Rick, I'm fifth in my one and done of 108 with 2 weeks left. I have Matt Fitzpatrick. I have Hideki Matsuyama, Hovland, Goddard, Cantlay. Oh my God, you have a plethora of riches. You have too many guys left here, David. So you are fifth in a one and done. You should probably just play either Hovland or Hideki, and then you have too many guys here. Fitzpatrick, Hovland, and Hideki in some combination. I think I'm bullish on Hideki here. I'm pretty bullish on Hovland. You have too many guys. Our one and done runs all the way through Eastlake Burns this week or Victor. I would probably play Victor this week if you first off, he looks fit, by the way. Just so fit this guy looks. Let's put on a little bit of muscle. Looking good. I like where the game is at, and this is the place he finished second at last year, and he's got the skill sets to get it done. I'm playing Xander and Victor one and done for this week in BMW. Who should I play for this week? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're getting a lot of the same questions here. 8th out of 60 and one and done, 1,000 points out of first. All 3 playoffs are 2,000 points. Hovland, Morikawa, Thomas, Goddard, Scheffler left. Jeez, man. Okay, play Scheffler here. I don't know how you got this far in 8th without using Scheffler. So you play Scheffler here. You don't have Rory McIlroy involved. So last time you're going to get to play Rory. You're going to get to play Scheffler without Rory. There's not a huge difference between top 70 and top 50 for next week. There's also, I think this is a better course for him than Caves Valley. You play Scheffler here. Then next week you play, well, we'll have more information, but could be Hovland, could be Thomas. We'll see. We don't have to make that decision right now. Second in one and done. Oh, boy. A lot of this. Burns, Hideki, Connors. Hideki are my options. I would play Hideki here and maybe Burns next week. Let's see a way to talk about something that is not, I have 2 picks of one and done left, because that is not that much fun it's only fun for the person who answers it. All right, let me try to do it this way, and I'll deep dive some of these. I need to fill 2 more lineup spots. Please pick 2 golfers: Wyndham, Rose, Batia, Maverick, Denny. All right, let's talk about Wyndham Park. All right, I need to get a deep dive into my veins here. I don't want to just do the pick one of each for the next 2 weeks conversation. There's something pretty sneaky about Wyndham Park this week. I think this place is super dangerous for him with the way that he sprays it off the tee. I think that there's water in play on 11 holes, and he could put up a big number. But at the same time, you could have said that about the 3M Open at TPC Twin Cities. He finished T12 there. He lost 4 strokes off the tee, probably a couple of water balls. His tee to green numbers have been really good. Honestly, since he kind of got called out for the Oakmont thing, he's been a lot better. I think he was maybe able to kind of close the chapter on that a little bit. 4 of his last 5 have been great. There's plenty of motivation. I actually think Wyndham Park is fairly sneaky for this week. Not super interested in Akshay, though I do like the way he works the ball, but he hasn't been playing well enough. I think Denny's rather interesting, right? You get these really, really pure greens. This is my website, rickrungood.com. You get these really, really pure greens out here where I think you can roll it in. You've got a tee to green game that is not horrible. He's not completely reliant on his putting right now. He's got these high-end finishes when things do go well for him. So I do probably like Denny and Wyndham out of those spots, but you have to understand that you are taking on a lot of risk in Wyndham Clark. Are Griffin and Goddard going to continue their heaters and play them together, or would you prefer some type of English and Connors? Okay, I do like Harris English this week quite a bit, but to answer the original question, I do believe Griffin and Goddard, who are pretty severely underpriced, are both going to have good weeks. So here's Harris English. Harris English has done it everywhere without regard for human life. We've got excellent finishes, top 10s all over the yard, runner-up finishes, high-end stuff, variety of different golf courses. He has won here in the past. So no problem with English at $8,400. Griffin is probably the most mispriced golfer. So what is he, $7,100 or I'm sorry, $8,100? He's having like the sixth best season of anybody on tour this year. We talked a lot about those two missed cuts that did not mean anything at the John Deere at the Open. He played much better at the Wyndham Championship. We saw his apex. If you like I tweeted this out, and I think Michael Kim retweeted it earlier. Those guys that work the ball right to left, I think there's only 6 of them that hit more than 50% of their shots right to left. Actually, I can just pull it up. I don't know why I'm trying to bring this up in my head. It's Akshay who hits a fade. It is Michael Kim, Corey Connors, Lucas Glover, Chris Kirk, and Tommy Fleetwood. I actually thought Ben Griffin was one of – maybe I'm confused, but I thought Ben Griffin was on this list as well. Let me pull up Ben Griffin's radar. I thought he was on this list, but maybe I've got heat brain at the moment. Yeah, I'm wrong on that. But he does have the high apex angle that we showed earlier. I thought it was a combination of both of those. I think these two guys have a ton to play for with Ryder Cup implications, making it to East Lake, all that fun stuff. Can we look at ownership with a special attention to the 6 and 7K range? Yes. So here's the cheat sheet. Projected ownerships coming in right now. So I'll just sort by highest owned golfers. Scotty, Fitzpatrick, Russell Henley. Those are the 3 highest owned golfers for this week, or at least likely to be. When you start getting into the $7,000 and $6,000 range, JJ Spawn leads the way at 14.8%. You're seeing Wyndham Clark and Robert McIntyre right around 13.5%. Shane Lowry at 10%. The first 6K golfer does not pop up until Nick Taylor at 9.7%. There seems to be a lot of resistance going down too far in the 6K range, which makes a lot of sense, right? There's just not a lot to like there, and the ownerships are reflecting that. DFS decisions, Fitz and Griffin or Henley and Hovland. Wow, great. I mean, 4 great guys here. Probably Henley and Hovland. Hovland gets the course history, and he's playing well enough. Henley, I think, is like is a really perfect skill set for this week. I think historically, there is a big advantage to playing out of the fairway, and there is a big penalty for missing the fairway. I'm going to say that penalty will be bigger this year for missing the fairway. The rough is a little bit longer. The greens are a little bit firmer. You're going to need to play with a little bit more spin and a little bit more control. I actually think the penalty for missing the fairway is going to be bigger this year. So Henley, who hits it out of the fairway, 70% of the time, something pretty outrageous, 67% of the time, does not miss very big when he does miss, which probably keeps the water out of play. And then he's one of the best approach players in the world with a putter that's heated up over the last 3. So yeah, I am like warming on Henley as the week goes on. Can you rank the 7K guys? Ricky, Akshay, Glover? Probably Glover, Ricky, Akshay. The Akshay stuff, I like the shot shape. I like the direction that he works it. It's just probably not enough for me. Ricky's been playing better. He's got a highly big motivation to get inside the top 20. If he can get inside the top 20, I think it's actually 17th or better, he will get himself into the BMW Championship. He'll get himself in all the signature events. He does not have to deal with the sponsors' invites any longer, which I think is all valid stuff. But like Glover on courses where hitting the fairway matters. I think that's a good spot for him. How do you feel about Grillo, even though he's been horrible with the putter? Welcome to the Emiliano Grillo experience, right? I mean, that is exactly what you'd expect. Actually, he wasn't even horrible. He's actually, first off, excuse me. Let me go to battle for my guy here. He lost a stroke and a half putting last week. He has gained strokes putting in 5 out of 9, which is like a massive boom, boost, whatever, for Emiliano Grillo. Jake Knapp, I'm going to pull up his profile. That's the next question there. there's just something that does not feel right about Jake Knapp around this place. Boy, this is So this is what I'm a little bit worried about. Jake Knapp at this place makes me feel a lot like Wyndham Clark, where Jake Knapp might finish second and he might finish 70, 68 or something like that. Hits a very low ball. It's not, I mean, he's probably going to run some out there pretty far. It's not the end of the world, but there's just something that doesn't feel right about this. I will say this, though. Played well, obviously, at Cognizant. He seems to play better at courses that he shouldn't, which is kind of weird. So I'm the more that I think about this, I'm getting warmer on Jake Knapp, but I don't think I'm going to have a ton of exposure to him. Hey, Rick, have fun in Memphis. Thank you. We will. It'll be a great time. 18th out of 150, my one and done. Top 12 are in the money, so you need a little bit of help here. 1.9 million. Tour Championship prorated at 25% of winnings. I have Rory, Xander, Hovland left. Okay, you must play Rory McIlroy at East Lake. He wakes up and finishes inside the top 2 at East Lake. You've got to play Rory at East Lake. You probably have to play Hovland here, which means you're going to have to play Xander next week. That one I think is pretty straightforward. If you were 10 million back in one and done, would you rather pick Hovland, English, or Fitzy? They're all not bad. I would rather play Hovland. Love the John Daly content. Thank you. If you haven't seen it yet, the round with John Daly, I had to clip a lot of it, but it is now out on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. Pick one from each pairing. Aaron Rai or Cam Young. I pick Rai. JT Poster and Kirk Kitayama. I pick Kirk Kitayama. Best play $6,500 or lower. So Grillo is right around that range, isn't he? Oh, he's 66. Okay. I'm gonna click Ryan Fox's name for a second. I'm also going to click on Nico Echeverry. So Foxy, who's got 2 wins this year, struggling in the last 2. I don't think it's the end of the world. He's a very good tee to green player. He's shown us that countless times. He has also shown us that even after he struggles, he can bounce back pretty quickly. Nico Echeverria, you have to remember, was in the final group on Sunday at Sedgefield. So to get a guy who was playing that well over the first 3 rounds and really over the first 8 holes of round number 4, and then punting it away on like 9, 10, and 11, I don't mind that as much. He's had a very good year. It's a little bit more volatile. So I would say Nico and Ryan Fox are probably the 2 down there at the bottom. Ludwig and either Grillo or Spawn, or Rye and Spawn. I'm sorry, Grillo or you, or Rye or Spawn. I would go Ludwig and the $6,600 golfer. Any way to model golfers that are from or play well with hot weather? Yeah, but it'll kind of take me too long here. I guess we could do, we could do like TPC Southwind. We could do Caves Valley. We could do East Lake, just like the playoff courses. Where else? Texas, Colonial. Again, there's probably better ways to do this. What else? Where else was really hot this year? Let's just roll with those. Minimum 5 starts. Scotty Davis, Riley. That kind of makes sense. Justin Thomas, Berger, Sam Burns. That kind of makes sense. Riley's a kid from the South. Scotty's a kid from the South. Justin Thomas from the South. Berger from Florida, right? Burns, he's from the South. Glover loves this area. Yeah, okay. That all kind of adds up, doesn't it? All those guys until you get to like Xander and Cantlay, until you get to like California. Can we get a look at Shane Lowry? Why does it seem he's been so quiet around his name lately? Let's look at what Shane Lowry has been up to. So this devastatingly bad putting slump appears to be over. Picked up a little bit at the Travelers, picked up a little bit more at the Open. Has really not put a lot of things together. When you get excited about the ball striking, he's kind of lost it. When you get excited about the putter, he's kind of been a little bit off with that. What's his season-long putting numbers here? Yeah, 120th. That's what I thought. That felt weird to me. Yeah, that's probably why I'm not that excited about this. Um, that's a troublesome profile. Talk me out of Russell Henley and talk me into Jordan Spieth. Probably not going to talk you out of Russell Henley. I will try to talk you into Jordan Spieth. Pedigree-wise, he's one of the best players in the field. All the good stuff that he found last year is still there. All the bad stuff he's starting to figure out. I agree with his sentiment. I think the metrics agree with his sentiment that he is close. He keeps saying that. I agree. I think Jordan Spieth is going to win twice next year. I don't know how close he is this year, but I think he's going to win twice next year. And I think he might be on the Ryder Cup team, quite honestly. I've got Rory, Henley, Ludwig, and Hovland. Roar's at East Lake. Yep. Okay, then you need to play. If I were you, I'd play either Henley or Hovland here. I don't really care too much, and then probably Ludwig next week. So Henley here, Ludwig next week. It sucks that you didn't get to play Hovland, but I think that's about right. Oh, the producers play the week. We haven't done that in a while. Armina, text me. She's at home, but she can get. I can see her. I can see her behind the scenes. She's going like this. She's thinking about it, and she's going to text me her pick. I'll let you know. Golf One and Done has exploded the last few years. However, a few years ago, you were bullish on fantasy golf. Do you think we'll ever reach the point where fantasy golf is popular? It is definitely way more popular. Like, fantasy golf has also exploded. However, One and Done has dwarfed it. The thing that will be key for fantasy golf is a platform. It doesn't exist. The platform doesn't exist. And trust me, I've tried them all. I play on Fantrax. It's not great. And they don't seem to be making any updates to it. My buddy Matt at Buzz Fantasy Golf, I know, has been working on a platform. And I think it'll probably eventually be very, very good. But there needs to be a place that everybody can play. Right now, that doesn't exist. If I had an extra $100,000 in a year laying around, I would make this platform. But I think that's what we need. If we get that, we will explore. Nina says, Nick Taylor. Shock of the century. Oh, she's smiling. I guess she's smiling. Well, I think she's folding laundry. I can't tell what she's doing. Yeah, I think she's folding. A good first round leader. How hot is it there? It's incredibly hot. It's like 95 degrees and 100% humidity. I am wearing pants though because I'm a professional. Oh, Joe Mama's here. Are you going to make your inaugural visit to the Black Desert Championship? That is on the list. I hope to. I need to confirm what I would love, and I don't know if the timing is going to match up. And I also don't think they're very close. But what I would love to do is Southern Utah for the Black Desert, Salt Lake City for a mammoth game is what I would like to do. Oh, let's run a custom model. Okay. So Be the Man 25, I'm going to run his model for him. He says, last 32 rounds, very specific. 25 on strokes gained approach. 20 on driving accuracy. Hope I'm not yelling in the media center. 20 driving distance, 15 on strokes gained putting, Bermuda if possible, indeed. 15 around the green, and 5 on history. All right, Be the Man's model is, wow, Scotty Scheffler won, Matt Fitzpatrick a very close second. Sam Burns, Ben Griffin, Russell Henley, Harris English, Emiliano Grillo, Max Grisham, saw him today, Kurt Kitayama, and Xander Schauffele. Is Cantlay a player? Stay away. Why does Vegas have him just outside a top 10 in odds? I don't have any Cantlay exposure. So I'm happy to say that he's played better in non-major championships. I'm happy to say a lot of the metrics have been very good. I'm happy to say that when you guarantee him 4 rounds, he's probably going to matriculate up the leaderboard and finish close to the top 10, if not in the top 10. I've got very little expectation that he's going to putt well enough to win this golf tournament, which is kind of where I'm at. So that's tough. I just watched the video of you showing off your office and you mentioned the stock tickers without giving us financial advice. What's your favorite stock right now, brother? Like VTI or what is it? VFIAX, just like Vanguard Total Stock Market or S&P 500. Now, if you want me to go outside of that, actually, hold on. I used to have a lot of shares of the Atlanta Braves stock. You get Atlanta Braves stock. This is not financial. It's not financial advice. Let me see what else I have. I've tried to get out of my stocks. Oh, dude, you know what has crushed for me? Dutch Brothers, the coffee chain. So I started getting into Dutch Brothers when we saw the first one pop up in Vegas, and the line for like 6 weeks was no, not even 6 weeks, for 6 years. For like it was just down the road every single day. And I'm like, are they selling like? Are they like giving away money there? Like, what are they selling? I'm up 40% all time on Dutch Brothers. I've just been getting into Dutch Brothers. So anyway, not financial advice. The Aaron Rice stuff is interesting. He has not had a very good year, but he's starting to heat up right now. This is the time of year that he heats up. This is a very good golf course for him. He's coming off 10.5 strokes gained on approach. If he can gain 1 stroke with the putter, I like him. I saw him hit 1 shot today. He flushed it. Take that for what it's worth. A Jaeger deep dive. My goodness. I can't tell you the last time I looked at Steven Jaeger's profile. Oh, boy, this is why. Miscut 34th, cut, withdrawal, cut. He has lost a ton of strokes off the tee in his last 8. He's lost a ton of strokes tee degree. Yikes. Yeah, I'm guessing, how did he get in this? A lot of work early in the year is how he got in this. The runner-up, no. The 3rd at the Sony, the 6th in Mexico. The 7th at the Truist went a long way for him. Signature event. Yeah, that's not great. How is Bobby Mack going to hold up to the heat? Probably the same way that I am. I'm dying, and we are burning. Okay, so let me tell you this. Costinda, I can't see you. Costindan. Sorry. So the way that we're doing this, I didn't even tell Mina this. So we're doing this competition for golf bet this week. So there's 4 of us who are making picks. We have to pick out 20 units. I wish I could click your face. She's like, 25 units we have to put down. Whoever has the most units at the end wins a trip with a friend to TPC Sawgrass to play TPC Sawgrass. I'm like, what the? And now I got to take this a little more seriously and like do this for real. I was just like fire and whatever. So I'm now highly incentivized to win this little competition that we have. And one of the wagers that I made for the tournament was over 262.5. I'm looking for my notes. Over 262.5 for the winning score. Because the idea being that Hideki won this at 263. He won by 2 shots, so he could have won it at 264. I think it plays at least a shot more difficult than it did last year. I think so. So that's where I went. So to say yes, I think there are more bogeys incoming, or at least less birdies, and I think the winning score is going to be worse. And hopefully, oh my God, if I can win a trip to Sawgrass, I will. I did not know that. They sprung that on us live, like in the moment. I did not know that was going to happen. Sorry, now I'm excited. Hey, Rick, I'm doing. Oh, thanks for always doing this. Okay. A little over 400,000 outside the money. My 1 and done. Tommy, Colin, Harrison got up from my 4 and looking for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So this is, you've got a variety of options here. Oh, this is tough because are you really going to go all year without playing Colin? I need to see something before I play him, right? So I think this week is either Tommy or Harris, which I guess you have to play Tommy. I think you have to. And then if we can get some life from Colin, maybe we play Colin next week. Otherwise, you might just play Harris English. He's been great. Corey Connors deep dive. Let's go. Let's do the Corey Connors deep dive. Corey Connors. Corey Connors. If you're coming out here this week, we are by the 14th tee. Come say hello. Corey Connors. Corey Connors. Looks like a vintage Corey Connors profile. However, a little bit better putting. Picked up strokes at the PGA Championship, the Memorial, the U.S. Open, the Scottish Open. That's 5 out of his last 7. That's pretty darn good. I do kind of think around the green is going to be a little bit more important this week with the way that it's kind of difficult to hit some of these greens if you're landing it on, depending on what iron you're hitting it, or if you are landing it short, it's not going to roll up there. So I think this is a very good profile. I'm a little bit worried about the amount of green stuff, but I do think that's pretty good. Can you sing the song Daly was singing on the YouTube video? No. He was rapping it, I'm pretty sure. Here's the deep dive on Daniel Berger. So this is great. So when we did the second cut this week, Greg Ducharme was like all in on Daniel Berger, called him the golfer of the week, which is a golfer that I make him pick no matter what. And I'm assuming a lot of that is based off of the history at Southwind. He's won here twice back to back. And then the tee to green play, which has cooled a bit, but it's back a bit. I'm not nearly as high on Berger as Greg is, but I would rate this a solid like 7 out of 10. Best golf or life tip from Daly, either during or after the round. Willie said, Rick. No, I don't know if he gave me any tips or life advice, but he did tell me these greens are faster than my divorces or something like that. And I was like, all right, I will take that into account when we get out there. The John Daly comments are just sending me right now. Okay. Can you run a custom model 20 on each? Yeah, let's do it. Let's run the model. Let's put the model to work. I'm going to clear this from Be the Man's model. So we do not have a number of rounds, John. So I'm just going to go 36, and I'm going to put 20 on each. Driving accuracy for 20. Oops. Driving accuracy for 20. Around the green, I don't like that Armina is intently watching this show right now. She usually never watches. 20 around the green. Approach from 150 to 175. 20 there. Par 5 scoring and bogey avoidance. Okay. Bogey avoidance and then par 5 scoring. It's actually not par 5 scoring. It's strokes gained par 5, which I think is superior. Scotty, huge gap. Emiliano Grillo, smaller gap. Russell Henley, Keegan Bradley, Tommy Fleetwood, Matt Fitzpatrick, Harris English, Sepp Straka, Jake Knapp, Ricky Fowler. Good luck. I did not see more. Actually, I did see Morikawa today. I saw him only hit one shot. I did not see JT today, so I didn't really see. Is it possible to run a model for only made cut tournaments on hard courses? Well, here's what I can do pretty easily while I'm just looking at this. What I'll do is I'll just put all of my weights on hard golf courses. So it's Scheffler, Spieth, Morikawa, Cantlay, Ludwig, Tony Finau, Xander, Jason Day, Victor Hovland, Justin Rose. I can probably get the stib for you, but at my best guess, it is probably a 13. Looked a lot like a 13, maybe a 13 and a half. They looked light. Okay. Oh, yeah. Can you tell us which players will commit the most water penalties? For sure. Akshay, Jordan Spieth, Wyndham Clark, and let's see. How about we do this one? Those guys that love to curve the golf ball. Potgieter, Morikawa, got her up. Michael Kim works it the correct way, though. First player that I saw this week. Hold on. I don't know if I should say this because I don't know if it'll dox us. Ludwig staying at the same hotel. So I saw him. He was first. After that, I saw him this morning. Here's Kevin Yu. Stop it. Here's Kevin Yu. Let's do the Kevin Yu stuff. This is very cheap. $6,600. 3 straight missed cuts. Not the end of the world in terms of how they were. Played well before that. Around the green struggles. We've lost a little bit of the approach play. Let me look at his other metrics here. He's a pretty good accurate driver. He's actually a pretty good birdie maker. Oh, man. What can I grab onto? I'm not sure I can grab onto anything. It's okay. It's probably better than somebody else. He's probably like the 5th best player in the 6K range. It says, "Hey, Rick, I remember." I have no idea what that is in regard to, and it kind of scares me a little bit. Payne's Barbecue Island, Memphis. So I heard that, and I heard Renaissance, something with an R, Revolver, Renaissance, something like that. JT's been a little bit better with the driver. I'm still very concerned, but he got around, obviously got around Harbor Town, using driver more than I thought he should. I'm a little bit more bullish on him. Scotty's a better fit this week than he is for next week. Let's see. A lot of Scotty Scheffler, a lot of Lucas Glover. Howdy. What would you set the over-under for number of golfers teeing it up for the BMW, since I'm assuming they haven't implemented the Rick Gehman playoff system? 49.5. No, I think we'll probably get all 50 next week. Because you have to ensure you get to the Tour Championship. You probably want to play the week before the Tour Championship if you're going there. And I think even the small backlash of what Rory did will keep everybody in the field. So I'm going to say 50. I think they get all 50 next week. Top 3 plays in the 7K range outside of Wyndham. Sure, let's look. Harry Hall, I like a lot. Oof. Okay, Harry Hall, Jordan Spieth, JJ Spawn. JJ Spawn is kind of like a gamer, right? He's kind of a dog. So I like that. I like that a lot. He's been very good on approach. He's been very good in terms of accuracy. He's kind of a dog. I don't know if they'll water them. Can we get your number 1 pick for each of who did you see that looked the most comfortable off the tee, and conversely, who looked out of sorts? God. Victor was using a training aid, which I don't think I've ever seen him do before. The one that he was using, which is a little bit concerning, but seemed to be happy enough. I saw somebody with 4 coaches around him. Who the hell was that? I'm sorry, I cannot remember who it was. Scotty looks incredibly comfortable. I thought Grazerman looked pretty comfortable. Hideki looked. Jason Day. Okay, here's the thing. Just like absolute hat tip to Jason Day. So they play these pro-ams, right? And there's technically a pro-am competition. He was completely engaged and grinding over every putt for his amateurs and reading putts for them like it was for the Masters, which made those guys feel so good. You don't have to do that. And most of these guys don't. They just basically the AMs play their own thing, whatever. It was so cool. Jason Day is so cool. He had his wrist taped. I asked him about it. I said, what's going on? You feeling good? He said, yeah, it's all good. Nothing to be worried about. I don't know if he would tell me if it wasn't anything to be worried about. Did have the wrist taped though, but swings I saw looked good. If you're still holding Morikawa and one and done, should you come to terms with not using him this year? Yes, unless he plays well this week. If he plays well this week and you can find a way to get him in next week, I think that's reasonable. But there's a very, very good chance you will not use Morikawa this year. We are on, Todd, so it's right between the tee. It's 30 yards off the tee on the left-hand side. I think it is where Live From was last year is what they're telling me. There's a little tent there. That's where we're at. Andrew Novak told us his game is not good. Siwoo is going to find the water about 900 times. Ryan Gerard is the answer here, big boy. Oh, big boy. Let's see what else we got. I just joined. Scotty's going to win, right? Yeah, I'm like almost positive Scotty's going to win. So here's what's happening. Okay, let me just give you the Scotty story real quick. He's the best player in the world. It's not remotely close. Rory's not here, which is the only guy who eats up a ton of win equity. He has not finished outside the top 10 since the Players. He is the greatest distance control player in the world, and this is going to be a distance control thing. It is going to be how can you it's not a TrackMan competition, right? The short game will be tested. There's not a lot of break in these greens, so get it started on the right line. I don't think he's going to have any problem reading them. Everything that kind of popped up this week and today, particularly, seemed to benefit Scotty Scheffler. I just like, is he going to win by 2 or is he going to win by 5? Am I wrong thinking the next exciting tournament will be played at Beth Page? Playoffs are a joke. Well, yeah, but they could be better, and it could be fixed. What do I think about a 5th major? I think the 5th major is great. I actually think the PGA Tour has probably made a mistake in not just making the Players a 5th major like 5 years ago. Now at this point, I think it would be a little – sometimes I think it would be a little hokey now, but the Players is it's a legit, obviously a legit feeling. What I actually think they should do, I think the 5th major should be a match play major. If you guys don't know this, the PGA Championship was was match play until like 1952. So there is precedent for a match play major championship. When you think of that, in the scheme of things, that was 70 years ago. Golf's been around for 200 years, roughly, maybe more than that, probably more than that. The old course, the old course is what, 1755 or something like that. So that's recent history. There was a match play major. I don't know. That's what I think they should do. I don't have the one ownership this week. I know. I gotta talk to the boys at Splash and see if I can get that page back. I am. If I can find my notebook, I can tell you the actual answer to this question. I hope I didn't lose my notebook. If I lost here it is. Okay. So I have a lot of Scheffler and I have a lot of Henley exposure. I have a lot of Harry Hall exposure. I've got some Hideki exposure. And I've got a touch of Fitz exposure. And then I've got like the tournament props as well, like I mentioned, winning score over 262. And then for fantasy, Scotty, Griffin, Goddard are probably the ones I have the most of. How about this? Dutch Brothers reported earnings today, up 16%. How sick is that? Here's the card. So there's a lot going on. So the two like big bets that I made this week are Scotty Scheffler to win and Russell Henley. Okay. Obviously, I have a lot of matchup exposure. I have the over 262.5. I have parlayed. First off, I'm in Tennessee. A lot of stuff can happen here. Scheffler top 10, Russell Henley top 20, plus 163. So I've doubled down on both of those. Hovland, there's also finishing positions here, but not like top 20. Like Hovland under 25.5 finishing position. So that's better than 24, basically. 24 is better. Round 1, Nick Taylor over Morikawa, Chris Kirk over Tony Finau. I've got Fitz top 10 money, so does everybody. Fitzpatrick has the most, so I got the ESPN bet handle numbers. Fitzpatrick leads both top 10 and top 20 handle numbers. Scheffler is 32% of the betting handle. Morikawa of the outright handle, believe it or not, is 20%. Nobody else is more than 5% of the handle. I am like, okay, Cam Young. I do not buy a hangover for Cam Young. If he's going to play well, he's going to play well. If he's not, he's not. But there is not going to be an emotional letdown for a guy who has no emotion. there's not going to be an emotional letdown for a guy who didn't even really celebrate his win last week, who legitimately say didn't have any family in town and ate Chick-fil-A and went to bed or whatever. Played amazing last week. He is not going to gain 10.5 strokes putting again, so we're going to get some level of regression there. But if we get the 8 from tee to green, that's a pretty good baseline in general. So I think that Cam Young is going to play well again. Hideki, I don't know if I showed you his profile. Clearly, I'm quite invested in Hideki Matsuyama. I don't know if I showed this profile just yet, but it feels like something's brewing underneath the surface here, right? So we've got the 3 straight top 20s. The putter has been very good. 7 out of 8 he's gained strokes with the putter. The approach play is back to being very elite. I need him to keep it in play off the tee. That's all I need. And obviously, the defending champion here, he's had a lot of success. So there's something really brewing underneath Hideki here. And when he's got his best stuff, he looks like he's the best player in the world. I don't think we're going to get a Fitzpatrick letdown. No, I think the popularity, the wager stuff, I think it's certainly well warranted. I say this all the time. There's really nothing more predictive in our game than a complete game, gaining in all 4 major strokes gain categories. He's done that 3 times now. He's got 4 straight top 8 finishes at a variety of different golf courses that ask a variety of different questions. I think that he has clearly found something, and I think that he is going to continue that. I don't think it's a heater. Remember, I know we're a long time removed from it, but Matt Fitzpatrick was an unbelievable actor, had a very good PGA Tour career, and then won a major championship. And that, he's got that pedigree. We should not be surprised to see him playing well. I love that. What is the name of that John Daly song? I believe it's called Drunked Up by John Daly. It's either Drunked Up or Crunked Up. I believe it's called Drunked Up because I'll tell you what, when I posted that video, the YouTube algorithm told me that I'm using a copywritten song by John Daly and I'm sharing revenue with him on that. So, in first by 1.5 million, but plenty within striking distance. Fitz and Xander left. Who should I play where? Fitz here, Xander next week. Spieth is super cheap on Yahoo. $21 is on autoplay. I don't know a lot about Yahoo, but if that's super cheap, then yes. Okay, let's do Straka. Straka feels like he's starting to turn the corner a little bit, doesn't he? Let's look at Straka's profile together. Starting to get the putter back a little bit. 7th at the Scottish was nice. The approach play is coming back. We've got to figure out this flat stick. We've got to figure it out. That's a problem. But nice to see he can still, when he plays well, put up significantly high-end finishes. So I'm pretty in on set. Of course, I'm very concerned about. I'm concerned about the occasional spray from everybody, including Hideki. Right? Hideki's like the king of water balls, isn't he? Who will be higher owned, Kirk, Kitayama, or Denny? Let's just do this. Kurt and who? Kirk, Kitayama, and Denny. Kirk will be about 9.5%. Denny will be about 6.5%. Kitayama will be about 5.5%. Thanks. Do guys on the course actively talk about the Ryder Cup and their chances, or do they focus on the week? They talk about everything. They talk about football and where they're staying this week and food options and Ryder Cup. They talk about everything. They literally talk about everything. There's just like no topic off limits for these guys. Does Chef Minwoo stay in the top 50 or does he get bounced? See a Chef Minwoo. I think he gets bounced. I hope I'm wrong because it would be very good. Let me just go back. I'm at the end of the questions. Let me go back. I know this was a weird time. Thank you for bearing with me. I know I went earlier than the posted time. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm trying not to bother everybody in the media center. I do not think I'm doing a very good job of that. I think everyone hates me. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm facing backwards. So while everyone is facing me in the media center, I'm facing them. So it's like very annoying, but I did not want to put them on camera. So I put Jordan Spieth in the wall on camera. I do not like Brian Harmer for this week. Grazerman, God, I still want to hold the bag, but I'm more concerned than I've ever been. Last two spots in DFS, either Harry Hall and Bobby Mack or Spawn in English. Spawn in English. Okay. I think, other than Augusta, what's your favorite course you've been to in person? Oh, this season? Did I go to Riv? No, because they didn't play at Riv this season. So where have I gone? Torrey a couple times, I think. Quail, Augusta, here. Was I in Phoenix this year? Oh. I don't know. This place is pretty cool. Maybe I'm just a creature of recency bias, but this is pretty cool. But Augusta's the absolute goat. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to stop there because I don't want to bother these people at the media center. We're about out of an hour. Let me say this. I'll just say a couple things. Thank you for tuning in. The fact that I get to do this is crazy, and the fact that I can do this from the road is absolutely crazy. And try to bring you with me. I hope to do a lot of content this week, a lot of stuff on Twitter and Second Cup podcast, which we'll do. And Golf Bet has been very good to me this week. We're going to do a lot of hits. So next, actually, Mina doesn't know this either yet. So there is still a bet stream this week on PGA Tour Live. It is an extra hour this week because they are going to throw it to basically me at the 14th hole. So I'm going to do a couple hits on PGA Tour Live tomorrow from the golf course. Keep an eye out for that on the bet stream on ESPN Plus, so check that out. And then we're doing our post-round show for Golf Bet. We're probably going to record some videos throughout. So they've been retweeting all the stuff. I've been posting it out. This is a really cool experience, and this is the first time that the PGA Tour has allowed Golf Bet to do something like this. And quite honestly, they're giving us a ton of resources. We've got like 3 cameramen. We've got like it's like a legit setup down there. So it's been very, very cool. And the fact that I'm a part of it is only because of you guys. So I will stop the sappy stuff right now. I will say thank you. I will wish you the best of luck this week, and I will tell Mina to shut that.